In World War II, one of Hitler's most trusted spies never actually existed. At least, not the way the Nazis believed. For years, German intelligence relied on information from a man they considered one of their greatest agents inside Britain. He warned them about invasions, troop movements, military strategy, and the location of Allied forces. The Nazis trusted him so completely, they even awarded him one of Germany's highest military honors. There was just one problem. He was working for the British the entire time. His name was Juan Pujol Garcia, and he may have been the most successful double agent in human history. Juan Pujol Garcia did not look like a master spy. He wasn't a soldier, he wasn't highly educated, and he had no formal intelligence training whatsoever. Born in Barcelona, Spain in 1912, Pujol lived through the chaos of the Spanish Civil War before World War II erupted across Europe. But unlike many men of his time, Pujol hated extremism. He despised fascism. And he feared Nazi Germany's growing influence across Europe. As war spread across the continent, Pujol became convinced that he needed to help stop Hitler. There was only one issue: nobody wanted him. When Pujol approached the British to offer his services as a spy, they rejected him. Twice. British intelligence saw him as completely unqualified. No military background, no intelligence experience, no connections. To MI6, he was just another random civilian. Most people would have stopped there. Juan Pujol Garcia did the opposite. If Britain wouldn't recruit him, he would force them to. Pujol came up with an almost unbelievable plan. If the British wouldn't hire him as a spy, he would become a Nazi spy first. In 1941, Pujol contacted German intelligence and convinced them he was a fanatically loyal supporter of the Nazi cause. The Germans believed him. Soon, they recruited him as an agent. There was just one absurd detail. Pujol was supposed to be operating inside Britain, but he wasn't even there. Instead, he stayed in Lisbon, Portugal, from a hotel room, using tourist guides, magazines, newspapers, train schedules, and pure imagination. Pujol began inventing reports about life inside Britain, and somehow, the Nazis believed everything. He described fake military convoys, invented troop movements, even weather conditions. Sometimes his information was hilariously wrong. In one report, he claimed British citizens were surviving on extreme rationing diets based partly on outdated magazines. Another time, he created fictional political conversations between British officials who didn't even know each other. But despite the inaccuracies, the Germans remained convinced he was genuine. Then Pujol escalated things even further. He told the Nazis he had recruited an entire network of sub-agents across Britain. None of them existed. Over time, Pujol invented more than 24 fictional spies. Each one had a name, a personality, a job, a backstory. Some were Welsh nationalists. Some were dock workers. Others were military insiders. One was supposedly a woman working near a British military base. Another was a sailor constantly traveling between ports. Pujol created expenses for them. Personal dramas, arguments, delays, illnesses. At one point, he even informed the Germans that one of his fake agents had died. The Nazis paid the fictional agent's widow a pension. They never suspected a thing. German intelligence believed they had built one of the most valuable spy networks in the war. In reality, it was mostly one man sitting at a desk. By 1942, British intelligence finally noticed something strange. German reports were containing detailed information supposedly coming from an incredibly active agent network inside Britain. Eventually, MI5 discovered the source: Juan Pujol Garcia, the man they had rejected. Instead of arresting him, they realized he was a genius. The British brought Pujol into the famous double-cross system, a secret operation designed to control and manipulate German spies. From that moment forward, Pujol officially became a double agent working for Britain. MI5 gave him the codename Garbo, named after Hollywood actress Greta Garbo because of his incredible acting ability. Now working directly with British intelligence, Garbo's mission became far more dangerous. He wasn't just sending fake information anymore, he was helping shape Nazi military strategy itself. And soon, the biggest deception operation of World War II began. Operation Fortitude. By 1944, the Allies were preparing for the largest amphibious invasion in human history. D-Day. The landings in Normandy would determine the future of Europe. But there was a terrifying problem. If Germany knew where the invasion was coming, the beaches could become a slaughterhouse. So the Allies created one of the greatest military deceptions ever attempted. Their goal was simple: convince Hitler that the real invasion would happen somewhere else, and Garbo became one of the operation's most important weapons. Using his fake spy network, Garbo fed Germany carefully crafted misinformation for months. He claimed Allied forces were preparing to invade Pas-de-Calais, not Normandy, the closest point between Britain and France. It seemed logical. Exactly because it was logical, the Germans believed it. The Allies reinforced the lie with fake armies, inflatable tanks, wooden aircraft, fake radio traffic, even fictional military divisions. And, through it all, Garbo confirmed every false detail to the Nazis, again and again and again, until German intelligence became fully convinced. Then came June 6, 1944. D-Day. Thousands of Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy. Even then, Hitler still wasn't completely sure it was the real invasion, because Garbo had already prepared the Germans for this exact possibility. He told them Normandy could simply be a diversion, a distraction before the real invasion at Pas-de-Calais. And then Pujol pulled off one final masterpiece. Shortly after D-Day began, Garbo sent Germany a message warning them about the invasion. But British intelligence intentionally delayed transmitting it. By the time the Germans received the warning, it was too late. To the Nazis, this actually increased Garbo's credibility. They believed he had genuinely tried to warn them. Meanwhile, Hitler kept major German divisions away from Normandy, expecting another invasion elsewhere. That delay became catastrophic for Germany. And historians still debate whether the success of Operation Fortitude shortened the war itself. The most unbelievable part of the story came afterward. The Germans never discovered the truth. Not during the war, not even close. In fact, German intelligence considered Garbo one of their greatest agents. So much so, they awarded him the Iron Cross, one of Nazi Germany's highest military decorations. Juan Pujol Garcia accepted it, while secretly working for Britain. At almost the exact same time, the British awarded him an MBE for his service to the Allies. He became one of the only people in history to receive honours from both sides during World War II. One man, two governments, two medals, and neither side fully understood the other's relationship with him. After the war, Pujol feared surviving Nazis might hunt him down. So, British intelligence helped fake his death. For years, the world believed he was gone, but he wasn't. He quietly relocated to Venezuela and disappeared from public life. Eventually, historians uncovered the truth, and the full scale of his deception became clear. Juan Pujol Garcia had manipulated one of the most dangerous regimes in human history, using lies, patience, and imagination. No weapons, no battlefield command, no army, just stories convincing enough to alter the course of a world war. World War II was fought with tanks, aircraft, and millions of soldiers. But sometimes, the most powerful weapon in history was information. And one man with a talent for deception managed to fool Hitler himself.